Prussian system we use today to educate our youth is designed to create obedient and respectful soldiers who follow authority's every command. But why was the system created? And more importantly, why is it chosen to educate American youth? To understand why America chose the Prussian model, we first need to understand what the model is and why it was created. Prussia, which is modern-day Germany, was one of the powerful monarchies of Europe during the 18th and 19th centuries. Like any other European monarchy, Prussia was constantly at war with its neighbors, including Napoleonic France. After losing a major battle to the Franks in 1806, Prussia decided that the reason they lost was because the men on the battlefield were thinking for themselves, rather than following the orders of generals who knew what they were doing. In order to prevent this from ever happening again, the Prussian government decided to create an 8-year compulsory education system that would teach citizens how to be good peasants in Prussian society. This system taught not only the basic skills necessary in the early Industrial Revolution, such as reading, writing, and arithmetic, but also discipline, respect, authority, and the ability to follow orders. These skills would make sure by the time a citizen reaches working age, they were exactly what the government wanted them to be. Unimaginative wage slaves do exactly as they were told to do. In other words, the perfect working-class citizens. The system squeezed any free thought, creativity, and critical thinking from students in order to make this happen. It also indoctrinated students into believing the King of Prussia was omniscient and just. The whole system was simply designed to instill absolute loyalty to the crown. Now that we understand the Prussian model, we can look at how and why it was imported into the United States of America. It all started with a man named Horace Mann. He was a conservative congressman who was part of the now-defunct Whig Party. In 1837, he was appointed as the leader of the newly formed Massachusetts State Board of Education that was designed to provide public education to the state of Massachusetts. Mann studied many of the systems used in the rest of the world and landed on the Prussian system. See, at the time, America was going through its own set of social crises. From the mass immigration due to the Irish potato famine to rapid Western expansion, America was becoming ever less unified country. Mann feared that if we continued on this path, America would become weak and break apart. As a conservative politician, he also saw how the Prussian system could benefit industrials by creating mindless and obedient workers, the perfect factory workers. In order to study this model further, Mann, with a few other educators, traveled to Prussia. When Mann returned to America, he lobbied extensively to get the Prussian system integrated into American society. He was not only successful, but he prompted almost all American educators to study in Prussian universities. By 1900, every American PhD was educated in Prussia. Going back to the 1840s, Horace Mann's 10th annual report during 1846 strongly recommended making education compulsory. Due to this paper, the governor of Massachusetts, George Briggs, decided to implement Mann's system statewide that same year. Why? Well, because Briggs was the first American to get a PhD in Prussia. This paper also later led to Massachusetts becoming the first state to make attendance to Mann's system compulsory in 1852. After 1846, Mann's model spread like wildfire. Soon after Massachusetts, New York set up 12 schools using Horace Mann's variation of the Prussian model. In 1865, after the war ended, Horace Mann's sister, Elizabeth Peabody, thought that she should integrate the Prussian system that was being used only in the northern states into the southern states. By the end of the 19th century, most states in the US used the Prussian model. It had even expanded to other nations, such as Canada, England, and many other Western countries. By the year 1900, 31 states made the Prussian education system compulsory. By 1910, every state did. And now, every single American child, along with the vast majority of children in the Western world, are educated using Horace Mann's model, a system designed to degrade people to mindless factory workers. The legacy of the Prussian system is a complex one. It provided a foundation for universal education, but also supported a culture of obedience and set its subjects to become wage slaves. As we move forward in society, the challenge lies in learning from our system's strengths while fixing its limitations. In order to make the most innovation as a society, we must create an education system that fosters critical thinkers, creative problem solvers, and engaged citizens, rather than people who only do as they're told. It's not just about education, but about the future we want to build. Do we want to continue with a system that creates workers, or one where every student has the opportunity to reach their full potential and make their mark on the world? If you like this video, I think you'll like this one too. And if you have any thoughts on this topic, Please give your thoughts in the comments.